every sex trafficking ring worldwide knows bring the kids to the United States, that this administration is participating in the trafficking of kids because they're paying companies, LLCs and nonprofits and church groups, they're paying them to take these kids and disappear them, including the report that you showed, have talked about the blood of young children being the secret to anti-aging. And why does nobody ask, where does blood come from? How do you get the blood of young children? And does it matter if the children are younger and younger and younger? So now are you talking about the blood of babies now?
Former journalist Lara Logan is now on The Absolute Truth, which is on some Lindell TV. Oh, that makes sense. Lara Logan is now talking about, again, continuing to talk about harvesting the blood of young children in order to stop aging. It's an anti-aging treatment. The one thing that they always say, they don't ever say when they talk about this every time is it working? Which people are actually 205 years old that look like they're 90 or maybe 65? I don't know how much this anti-aging cream works made off of blood of children, but if you keep talking about it, we should probably see some results. Shouldn't you start showing me the witches and warlocks? Which ones are the ones who never died? Vampires? Which vampires are the ones that are using the blood of children, sucking it out of their necks? You guys, this is cartoonish stuff. That's just my side, I apologize. What's actually happening is Lara Logan is finding herself in the bottom of the barrel of every kind of news outlet that she can discover. So let's take a walk down memory lane and see how this whole thing started with Lara Logan. Let's go.
You know, the most important thing to every person at 60 Minutes is the truth. And today the truth is that we made a mistake. And that's very disappointing for any journalist. It's very disappointing for me. Nobody likes to admit that they made a mistake. But if you do, you have to stand up and take responsibility, and you have to say that you were wrong.
That was the first issue there. As you saw, Lara Logan was talking on CBS about how she was then taking that leave, had separated from CBS because of her shoddy basis of her reporting when it came to the Benghazi report that she was doing. She seemed a lot more even keeled there, even though that she was finding herself in that kind of hot water. But after she officially left the network in 2018, she was quoted talking with Breitbart. She said, the media is mostly liberal everywhere. And she started going down this stint. She was upset is what I saw it as. Not just in the US. We've abandoned our pretense, or at least the effort to be objective today. Then she went back up and decided to jump over in the right-wing networks because they were like, we'll take it. Whatever it is you're saying, it's all good. Maybe she could have been a straight reporter for some of these right-wing networks. Maybe, until she went on and said this.
In that moment, what you see on Dr. Fauci, this is what people say to me, that he doesn't represent science to them. He represents Joseph Mengele, Dr. Joseph Mengele, the Nazi doctor who did experiments on Jews during the Second World War and in the concentration camps. And I am talking about people all across the world are saying this. The level of suffering that has been created because of this disease is now being seen in the cold light of day, i.e. the truth.
So Dr. Fauci, comparing him to Mengele, of course, a Nazi doctor. So we've gone from CBS to the mistakes in her reporting there, to then detaching from them, talking about how the media is all liberal and coming for us. Now she's on Fox News. A nice landing spot. It's a huge network. But she complained after they then separated from her over that. And this is the headline from that. She says, Lara Logan, who compared Fauci to Mengele, says Fox News pushed her out. Now, I was always on board talking about, yeah, they say things like this on Fox News and she's the one who gets the punishment. But I want you guys to continue to see her face morph from what seemed like a normal, calm person up there at the beginning to how it just continues to look more and more off the hook and unhinged. Here's more. And she goes, I was definitely pushed out, is what she told Eric Metaxas, a conservative radio host. She says, I mean, there's no doubt about that. They don't want independent thinkers. They don't want people who follow the facts, regardless of the politics. So she went from Fox News and now Newsmax. Here's the next side.
Is God okay with a closed border?
It's much bigger than that. God believes that in sovereignty and national identity and the sanctity of family and all the things that we've lived with from the beginning of time. And he knows that the open border is Satan's way of taking control of the world through all of these people who are his stooges and his servants. And they may think that they're going to become gods. That's what they tell us, Yuval Noah Harari and all the rest of them at the World Economic Forum. You know, the ones who want us eating insects, cockroaches, and that while they dine on the blood of children. Yeah. Those are the people, right? They're not going to win. They're not going to win.
Well, they're not going to win. They're not going to win, is what she said to Newsmax. Newsmax said this to her. We condemn in the strongest terms the reprehensible statements made by Lara Logan. The news outlet said that it has no plans to interview her again. One more thing, Ravana, I promise, this is it. This has been a long downfall. I want to get a full documentation of what has happened to Lara Logan and her sanity, because she was still on Lindell TV and she had more to say, just like off the top. Here's more though.
We all know free speech is not allowed in cable news outlets. They fear free speech. We continue to learn this lesson time and time and time again. Award-winning journalist Lara Logan has also found that out when she began discussing human trafficking on Newsmax. Now, even though Lara said everything she said can be corroborated in her post-Epstein world, Newsmax said, quote, Newsmax condemns in the strongest terms the reprehensible statements made by Lara Logan and her views do not reflect our network. We have no plans to interview her again. Well, we will be interviewing Lara at Lindell TV because we actually believe in free speech. You know, it's the same playbook every time, right? And you know you're right over the target because they ran this playbook against you where they have to do everything to say you're crazy.
They just have to, Ravana. They have to. How long before Lindell TV says, oh, we're parting ways?
I mean, I think that you've got this all wrong, Jayar. You have set it up as if she had this wonderful career and lost everything, but I see it as a rags to riches story of a woman who started out at fake news CBS and worked her way all the way up to the top, the upper echelons of news media, Lindell TV. But also for anyone watching who is wondering, couldn't quite place her accent, she is from South Africa, which might give a little bit of context into some of her right-wing views. But I also am curious about this drinking baby's blood to stay looking young or using it as a moisturizer or whatever the hell it is that these people believe. Please tell me, that Nancy Pelosi is drinking baby's blood to look younger. Because if that's the case, she needs a refund. The adrenochrome isn't working, okay? I'm sorry, the people who they think are engaged in these conspiracies, they're not looking fresh, all right? And they continue to age, every day. It seems like, a scam if they're involved in it.
It's such a good point, because I said this before about Joe Biden. Like, Joe Biden is decrepit, his brain is leaving him, he has cognitive issues, he can't walk, he can't breathe, he doesn't know how to write, people have to tell him how to say up and down. And at the same time, that same decrepit, frail, fragile old man who can't think is still planning conspiracy theories, is looking to use COVID to kill you, has some kind of coordination with the whole world to destroy only MAGA conservatives in this country. Is he crazy and strong and a mastermind of evil, or is he frail and can't think for himself? It doesn't matter. Whichever scenario we need to demonize folks and make sure our people think that somebody's coming for them, or that guy's so weak so we have to vote him out, it doesn't matter. Whatever it takes, it doesn't have to make any sense. And there you find Lara Logan, which, by the way, as crazy as she is, she's kind of been screwed over by all of the folks who tell her to say these things. And then as soon as she says it on the air, they go, what are you doing? Get out of here. We say that stuff.